But instead of just talking about the EAA was today, what I thought would be best is to step back for a moment, to give you a little more background in history about why does the EAA actually exist. Because what you see today are 15 schools in Detroit, but it's much more than that. And I want to give you a little bit of the history and background, talk about some of the challenge, and then talk about what it can be and will be by us working together. If you step back and look at it, the issue that we faced before the EAA existed when I became governor is, in many respects, we're failing our kids. And when I say that, I'm not talking about Detroit, I'm talking about the state of Michigan. We're failing our kids. And what do I mean by that? We do testing, we do benchmarks in the state. And we're using the ACT as a benchmark to say are kids college ready. And again, it shouldn't just be college ready, it should be college or career ready. But that's what we've got to work with. And when I became governor, the number was 16% of our kids in the entire state of Michigan were deemed college ready on all subjects. That number's gone up to 17%. Got that right, Mike? In terms of numbers?
Yes. Yeah.
Stop and think
18,
about it.
19 coming.
Yeah. But if you think about it, anything less than 100% is unacceptable. And I'm talking again, the entire state of Michigan, 16%. The other number one, I get challenged on it. People come up and say, Governor, I don't believe this, can't be much better. Well, I have another benchmark I use. And the benchmark I use there is I use a number from the community colleges. And we track this, going to the community colleges to say what percentage of the kids that have now graduated, that are going off to community college, have to take a remedial course before they're ready to take an entry-level college course. And I'm talking statewide, that number typically ranges above 60% of kids coming out of school, going to a community college. They have gotten a degree. Over 60% need to take a remedial class. That's a travesty. That's a failure. And one of the things I became governor that I could not believe is no one was standing on top of the building yelling about that. That's wrong. It was time to do something about it. And this is the start of doing something about it. We have great teachers. We have great administrators. We have great people in the system that are working hard. So it's not a question of good intentions or good people. But the outcome simply wasn't happening. And isn't that what really matters in the end? What really matters is not to say we've got great buildings or we've got great systems. The point is, have the kids learned something? Have the kids grown? Are the kids ready for a career? And we weren't delivering on that. The old ways of doing things are not the way things need to happen. We need to innovate. And you start by saying, let's look at a new way of doing things. And that's what this was all about. So we started looking around the country to say, who's really innovating? And we brought in some of the best people in the country. Again, the Broad Foundation has been critically important in this. We've involved the Department of Education. Arnie Duncan and I have our personal cell phone numbers, talking back and forth. Other people, Jeb Bush and all their efforts. There are a lot of great people doing things. So we looked across the entire country, and one place stood out, and it was interesting. It was actually down in New Orleans, after Katrina. They did a recovery district, where they really took a new approach of doing things. And we looked at that, we actually talked to the people that have run that. This goes back a year and a half. But as a practical matter, our view was, that wasn't good enough. How do we go beyond what they were even doing in New Orleans, where they had an absolutely clean sheet of paper to start with, to say, how can we innovate to take what we can learn from them, look at our unique aspects, and how can we do even better? And that's what the EAA is about. It's about that opportunity to innovate. It's about taking a new approach to say, it's about a system of schools, about empowering schools, to give the administrators, the teachers, the parents involved in that community the power to deliver as much knowledge and learning and growth to students as possible, and not get caught up in bureaucracy and overhead. And make that the focus. And make it about student-centered learning. Because who knows better how to learn with the right tools and support than the students themselves. One of the I was so proud of, this was classic. You can tell I'm passionate about this, but even I slipped back. When I went into Brenda Scott's school on the tour, they had a nice sign waiting for me. I walked up to the kids, I said, "What grade are you in?" They said, "We're not in grades." I said, "Good, you caught me. Thanks for getting me straight and narrow here." Because it's about doing things a new way. And about putting a focus on the kids and growth. And that's what you're doing today. And you're at the forefront of that. And we decided the best way to do that are to go to places that are the most challenged. The places that too often people have given up on in too many ways. And that's wrong. We can never give up on our kids.